So we haven't talked about Sudfeld at all. I actually think Sudfeld says more about Jimmy G than it does.
Let's talk about Nate Sudfeld. What does it mean?
All right. I think it means more about
That's a good one.
It says more about Jimmy
Yeah.
G. I think that's like, okay, Nate Sudfeld isn't one of your top 5, top 10 backups, but he did last in Philly for what, 4 years? They just kept him on the roster and they really liked him. And he's been around. Scangarello knows him. He's the kind of guy that's going to be a backup quarterback, I think, in the NFL for an extended period of time, because there seem to be coaching stats attached to him. Like, I'm sure that maybe he might have gotten him.
Good way to put it, yeah.
Scangarello seems to be attached to him. Doug Peterson, his next job, that could be where Nate Sudfeld is. So because of that, he seems to be a guy that can last in the NFL as a backup, and I think that's kind of their insurance. If they can get a good deal done for Jimmy G, I guess they can feel moderately comfortable with Nate Sudfeld and their rookie. It wouldn't be the best quarterback scenario. It wouldn't be Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes, but it wouldn't be a terrible one.
I see. So the idea is you don't want Josh Rosen as your number 2 quarterback. The guy was on a practice squad last year. Let him work his way up slowly.
Let's see if he beats out Josh Johnson. That's all I'm trying to say. Josh Johnson's been around for a while.
So you got Josh Johnson and Josh Rosen competing for number 3. You got Nate Sudfeld as number 2. You got Jimmy Garoppolo getting traded on draft night, potentially, and the rookie as a starter.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense. So Nate Sudfeld, from Vish's perspective, is the proverbial writing on the wall for Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's the insurance.
But
so theoretically, you don't give a guy 200. Come on. You don't give a guy $250,000 guaranteed to be your third string quarterback.
That's a good point. That's a really good point. So from Jimmy's perspective, that's my replacement right there. There's the backup. The starter's going to get drafted in 2.5 weeks, and I'm going to be out of here. Do you think he's going to run around his house like Antonio Brown did when he got released from the Raiders? I'm free.
Jimmy?
Yeah. I'm free.
I mean, if he gets,
do you think he's going to stand and a whale is going to dump over him like Free Willy? Do you think he's going to crawl through a mile of sewage like Shawshank Redemption? It's going to be so cathartic for Jimmy. I can't wait. Come on, Jimmy. You're going to be out of here so soon.
I'm sure Jimmy G has been beyond stressed the last 3 years in his own way. So, yeah.
Yeah. So close. I'm rooting for him. We'll get a new start, Jimmy. Not even 30 years old yet. He's got gray hair, man. You notice that? Dude has gray hair. He's got that salt and pepper look. Maybe it's
have you seen Kyle?
Yeah, Kyle got a heavy heart.
Heavy. I mean, for whatever reason, Cliff and McVay seem to be getting younger every year they're coaching in the NFC West. And Kyle went from the other cool, kind of like modern, cool looking coach to now he's just another head coach.
Crizzle.
But he wears cool hats.
Yeah, the 2 jobs in America that age you the fastest: president, head coach. 4 years is like 10, man. Anyway, all right. There was this one here. How can we say Mac Jones is better in every trait when he played college football and JG is in the NFL? I hate to bring it back to simple, but it's a good point. That's what scares me about Mac Jones is a lot of guys have looked good on that team. A lot of guys.
So it's a really good point, but I think where I stand with at least the projection is I just envision him solely within the 49ers offense. And what did he do in college, Grant? He executed a really well-schemed offense with really solid weapons in terms of, he had Waddle, I think, only for a shorter period of time. He definitely had the worst weapons than what Tua had, and he had a better statistical season than any season Tua's had. He didn't have Jedrick Wills. He didn't have Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Devonta Smith, and Jalen Waddle. He only had Devonta Smith for most of the season.
That's true.
So John Mechie is also pretty good. So from that standpoint, I think that when you look at him within the Niners offense, within that well-schemed offense and whatever he showed, he had better feel in the pocket than Jimmy. He was a better down the field thrower. He has a real great feel for throwing the deep ball, which Jimmy G just doesn't. And he showed he was a better and more decisive decision maker, which Jimmy G hasn't shown. So if you're projecting him into any offense, even if he showed that in college, it's difficult to say. But if you're projecting him into the Niners situation, I think that I at least feel comfortable saying that.
And I think the big trait that Kyle Shanahan's looking for here is the decision-making. Mm-hmm. I think that they don't talk about what they don't like about Jimmy. They say it's the durability, but it's way deeper than that. I think some people feel it's his physical skill set. I disagree with that. They traded for him knowing what he could do and what he couldn't. I think their issue is the decision-making. They couldn't really get a feel for it in New England. He played a game and a half over there, but he came over here and they just felt like he wasn't making the right decisions quickly enough. And they talked about it last year in the sense where they finally said, Saleh said, he's becoming a quicker decision maker. He didn't even say better. He said quicker decision maker. And then Kyle.
Did he say decisive or quicker?
He's becoming more decisive. He didn't even say a better decision maker. He said more decisive. And then Kyle the next day was like, yeah, we'll see when he faces another defense other than ours. So that's the issue. And when you watch Mac Jones, that's the first thing that you notice is like very decisive.
Another Kyle Shanahan quote. When they asked him about Nick Mullins' arm talent, well, he can make every throw in our offense.
So can Mac Jones. And honestly, Mac Jones and Nick Mullins have a lot in common. And it's not even a knock on Mac Jones. I love Nick Mullins. Nick Mullins, he's on the team because of how he processes, how smart he is, the mental part of his game. And everything else is like good enough, arguably, maybe even not. Mac Jones is sort of like in that boat, got the mental side on lock. Nothing stands out physically. Kyle and the playmakers are gonna bridge the gap. So
yeah, but he's a bigger human being than Nick Mullins, and he's just a better thrower than Nick Mullins.
True. That is true.
I think he reacts a little better than Nick Mullins too. Nick Mullins seems to get rattled.
That being said, you put Nick Mullins at Alabama, he would have had a great time. He would have done great.
Oh,
and
no, 100%.
Those quarterbacks
100%.
at Alabama don't get rattled and all that kind of stuff. So it's a hard.
Yeah, right. 100%. And Mac Jones, 17 starts, terrifying. Terrifying.
And the one thing about Nick Mullins that I think helped him surpass CJ Beathard on the Niners, reps in college. Nick Mullins came in from a spread offense. It wasn't going to translate. CJ was in the Big Ten handing off. Which one had more success in the league? The dude who had some reps throwing, who looked at more coverages.